All right, everybody, we're here with another lesson to support your learning. This is lesson 1 of Unit 3, or Topic 3, Absolutism, excuse me, and Revolution. And we're going to be looking at absolute monarchy. We're not going to focus on Spain. We're going to be focusing on in France, okay? So this PowerPoint has about 24 slides. I'm not going to go through all 24. What I'm going to do is, my real goal is to show you how to take notes in these, and we'll be doing these occasionally. Um, what I am likely to do is to tell you to stop at a certain point, or just to, I'll stop at a certain point, like after 5 or 6 minutes, and then you'll be able to go on from there. Our goal today is to show you how to use this and how to take notes with it. In order to take notes, you need to be able to play with the view. So what I'm going to do is I have to adjust this a little bit, and I want to hit here on the view. The default is the normal view. What you're going to be doing when you're taking notes in the PowerPoint is you're going to be going between the normal view and the notes view. That's the notes view, and we go hit view again, and you can go to normal. When you have, you can't take notes. You see when I click, nothing happens, but you can take notes in the note view. So, and this right here is, what we'll do is I'm going to put a note in here, and as you can you can take notes while I speak or as I read, or you can do this on your own. But one of the things that we have right here, this is this is Louis's crown. So this is uh, Louis's crown. What does this show about his reign? And you can look at the crown itself, and you might be able to make some inferences or draw some conclusions about what this guy was about. I mean, look at this crown. This is worth a lot of money. All these are precious gems. It's solid gold. All right, so we're going to again practice on how to take notes. So I've taken some notes for you. Whenever you see these notes, it'll give you the objectives, and a good strategy to use is to look at the objectives and to look for keywords. So identify the characteristics of absolute monarchy, including the concept of divine right. So you see here, there are a couple of terms that are really important. So we can do this. We can go to absolute monarchy. That's one of the terms that's kind of important. And if we can highlight it, or we can make it bold, or we can do anything you want. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to maybe make it bold, spacing a line. I'm going to hit the text, and I'm going to make it bold. That way I know it's important. The other term that we see is divine right. And we talked about this in class the other day. So again, I'm just going to make it bold, and I can also go Control B. If you hit Control and B, it'll make it bold. If you hit Control and I, it makes it italic. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make these bold and italic. And I can either do it through the format font, or I can do it by Control B and Control I. So what I want you to do is I want you to, on your own, take a minute and practice and figure out which you think are the most important terms, and then I'm going to show you later. So take a minute. We're going to pause the video for a second, and you can go ahead and do that now. Okay, we're back. So you should have had time to underline these. And the terms you should have underlined or made bold and italicized were a centralized monarchy, absolute monarch, and I'm just using the control function, and I would say arts flourished. I gotta get the whole thing. Now, what you can also do, I did something wrong. I have to undo it. So I just hit undo. I hit V instead of B. And it's Control B, like Baker, to make bold. So what I can do now is I have this here, and this would be a great idea. If you have something that's bold and it's in an objective, which means you're going to have to know it, we're going to go to our notes. And again, I have a question for you already. What is the connection between absolute monarch and divine right? Because those were two terms that we talked about last week. And the concept of an absolute monarch, what is that? And what is divine right? We talked about that these people believe that they ruled from God. The other one that's really important is, why is Louis XIV important? because he introduced a lot of these ideas. Now you have here, I'm going to go back to the view and go to normal. And you get used to toggling. Right here you have your vocabulary, and I'm going to show you a good strategy to do with vocabulary. You can write in when you go back to notes, go back to view, hit notes, and what you can do right here is you can add the terms. So you can put down, you add the page number to these terms and define, and you would say absolute monarch, the king, queen have all of the authority in a nation state. That's what an absolute monarch is. It ends, the buck ends with the king or the queen. All right, so that would be a good strategy to add the page number, and this is found, you can put down page 173. I'm not sure if that's the page, but you can do that. And that way you can study it later on. These terms are very likely to show up on quizzes, so you might want to make notes of that. This is a great way to study, to get ready for a quiz. Okay, and don't worry about the page number in the quiz, but you will for quick reference, but you do want to be able to define it. So let's go back. We're going to now go to our next slide, and we're going to go back again. We're flipping back in views. So during the Renaissance and Reformation, European rulers continued to centralize power at the expense of their nobles and clergy. As wars of religion raged in many European lands, monarchs battled to impose the royal law and restore order in their kingdoms. So this is one of the problems, and you might be able to identify problems. So on our notes, so we're going to go back to view and notes. And again, we have some notes, and we could actually put this here as try and get this down. I'm having a problem taking my note in here, so let's just go here. What was a problem that the monarchs had? And again, this is going to repeat itself. They often fought with nobles and clergy. So you use these notes. So I'm going to insert, I'm actually going to go back to my normal view, and let's go to the next slide. Powerful states, rulers, and divine right to rule. We talked about this last week. We introduced the concept. I'm going to go back to my notes, and let's see what notes I gave you. And divine means something comes from God. So that would be something that you could add. And again, I think you're getting the idea. Now, this one here, I don't have anything, but let's look at the picture. And this is the photo of King Louis's crown. And the crowns were a symbol of wealth and power and the prestige of the monarchy. So you might want to show this here, go back to view and notes, and you can ask your own question. How much is this crown worth today? Is it important that a ruler have symbols of authority? And you can just come up with your own questions. Sometimes it's a good strategy to ask a question. We're going to do one last slide and we're done. So here we have the idea is that it's called the expansion of royal power, and it talks about the new rulers. And what you could then do is, on your reading, you're going to go here again, view and notes, and maybe you want to add this. Found on pages 174 and 175, and you might want to add another note. The idea is to add something that refers, and this will help you, refers to the text, so you can use it to help yourself study. So that's it. You've now learned how to take some notes, and I'm going to be assigning you to work, and you can work with a partner, and you're going to have to take notes for a few slides. It'll be in Google Classroom, and it will be something that we'll review together in class next week. All right, have a great rougher day.